was some posts going around calling Jonathan Davenport a hillbilly. And this is a very interesting situation where they were saying, keep these hillbillies out of NASCAR. Can't believe NASCAR is allowing these hillbillies to come and race. Now, since that 90s era where everybody was recognized on national media outlets, like you had sprint car racing on ABC, till now we kind of lost the societal touch. So people don't really know what we are, what we do, and they think of it as hillbillies now. Now, one of the side kickers to that is we have had a very, very big event that happens every single year. And the examples that have come from that event are not necessarily beneficial to the image of a professional dirt track racer. Why might the general society be calling Jonathan Davenport a hillbilly? What has made people think that? Hey dudes in Victory Lane, Jerry Springer on Twitter, flipping this thing, laughing and joking about it, junket, ha ha ha. If you're general society and on this big giant stage, that's getting all this attention because nothing else is racing, and these are the examples coming from that one race when no one else is racing and everybody's getting to see what you are, the amplification, then that might lead to a few people calling this dirt track racing or calling Jonathan Davenport a hillbilly based on the examples, the representation of those actions. Everybody laughs, oh, it's just all good. And I was all serious. Like I said, half of me thinks it's funny. Other half of me sees it for what it is. Now, this sport don't get a lot of recognition, but when you're on this big stage like the Gateway situation, and these are the examples that we're providing to the public of what we are, these are the hit pieces that gets all the views. Well, maybe that's how people think Jonathan Davenport's a fucking hillbilly. And I was talking to this driver, and he goes, man, I watched that video, what you said with Charlie, and you were just saying what all of us out here are saying. He said, I turned to my wife and said, can you believe this shit? And when you said what you said, he goes, I didn't share it. I didn't promote what you were saying, but we saw enough people were seeing what you were saying. And we're just glad that you were saying it. But we also saw all the bullets that were flying at you for you telling the damn truth to this community. The problem is I'm the only damn one that's ready for the smoke. Everybody else is scared of the damn smoke. Because I actually care about the sport. You know, and when he said that, he's like, you don't know how much detriment that is to us out here doing it right and putting in the work. And I was like, you kind of sound like the modern independent woman. You know, you want to go out or and this is not a derogatory way of phrasing it. You sound like the modern independent woman who's going out there, busting her ass 9 to 5, trying to give some self-respect, to make it on their own, to show, I can do it. I'm putting in the work. Now, you ain't getting paid and you ain't getting all this attention, but you're putting in the work. And that situation that happened at the Gateway deal is the stripper on the pole. It got all the attention. But it's real easy to show your ass. He didn't really have much else to say about that. Just nod his head. Because it's true. The fights, I'm not really against the Overton Madden chest bumping incident. That was a little professional between drivers on, a little bit. Obviously, if you want to put that shit in the hillbilly section of the framing, what I would call it, framing this sport as that, you could. But I don't really think that is the case. But I do see an issue with the G.R. Smith and Ashton Winger scenario. Because there's a lot of damn things to say about this topic and scenario. Once again, framing and images has a bit of a history doing this with the wreckings, and somehow or another scuffling up with someone on the racetrack. My video where he got into it with Kyle Larson at Bristol a few years ago is all of a sudden kicked up with comments and likes and views just because of this scenario with him and Ashton Winger. The issue, and I hope that, and I saw people talk about police and all this getting involved. I hope that track promoters and people out there in series see what just happened and really start policing the drivers on the track and at your racing series and weekly events. Or the police, these types of situations will increase. Now, look, I was in track management. I know how this works. And I've seen G.R. Smiths at racetracks across the country. You know, the one negative about dirt track racing and me trying to go out there and say they're the best in the world, there is no vetting of drivers. You can go out there and get you a super late model operation, and you can show up to the World of Outlaw or Lucas Oil Series next week and go out there and start trading sliders at the back. I don't know who you're going to be with. It could be anybody. They got 60 guys over there. So we are amateur in that element of the sport. You know, NASCAR's the same thing. If you have $15 million, you can go run the Daytona 500. So they don't have really necessarily an argument. There is kind of, in a way, no form of professional motorsports because you can logistically just buy your way there. But when a guy, and like I said, I've seen this at weekly racing, I've seen it in every part of the country, and this is back to bullying. There are guys out there who can afford super late models and race cars, and they know they're getting on the track with people who can't. They know they're getting on the track with people who don't have a lot of money, who can't just buy race cars over and over again. But they can, and they know it. And they get out onto that racetrack and they bully other racers on the speedway. And they junk their shit when they get a little sad and pissy because they got, you know, a boss mentality. This is what it's called, a boss mentality. I do what I tell you, you do it, I get what I want, I pay for it. It's a boss mentality. And when they don't get what they want, they start throwing shit and firing people, and they're firing race cars into the side of other people. Track officials, track promoters, series directors, you all know what I'm talking about. You all know that there's some guys out there that shouldn't be out there. And the only reason they're out there is because you want an entry fee and 4 or 5 pit passes every week. Because you're struggling on the front end of the business. Back to the whole issue here. You know, there's a big web of effects here. Especially in the weekly racing scene. They don't want to lose that, you know. That's paying half the purse almost, you know, for some of these guys. But this is a situation where a G.R. Smith, you've had tryouts for a long-ass time. And you're not making the cut. You know, there are guys who have the money who can come out here and perform well and race with respect and do it the right way. And then there's people out there just bullying people around because they got the money to do it. And at track official series and directors and everybody don't band together to get rid of these people. If you don't police the drivers, then the police are going to get involved. The drivers are going to be policed. So that's where I stand on the situation. Not just G.R. Smith, this ain't singling you out. I've talked to you before. You got a little, you can take a car around the track pretty fast. I mean, some of these cars are set up so damn good that you can do that. But there are guys out there that really need lessons taught to them. And I don't think they're going to get, you know, some of these guys are so financially set that they're not ever going to learn. And the only way we can actually do something about it is technically getting rid of them. Banning them for the season. I saw G.R. Smith is out indefinitely with Southern All-Stars. Why is he able to race anywhere? Why is it Lucas Oil? Why is it World of Outlaws? Why haven't XR Super? Everybody who saw this is detrimental to the sport, obviously what he's doing, his example that he's done. Why is it okay for this guy to have a place to race at all? Who out there really needs that entry fee and pit pass money that damn bad? And this is a situation where we have to start recognizing this. Not just for G.R. Smith, but across the damn country. I knew a guy at the track I was at shouldn't be on the track because he's bullying people. He's running guys over. It's a weekly racing scene. He's running guys over, bullying them on the racetrack because he's got the money to fix his car and he knows the other guy don't. And everybody's scared to walk up in the trailer and whoop his ass because they know he's got the money for the big lawyers to put him away. And you know he ain't going to get no justice served because the justice system ain't got no justice within it anymore. So there's a lot of people. This example that happened here, this needs to be across the damn board. There's a lot of G.R. Smiths out there right now that need to be out. And you people who know racing, who are involved in these tracks and are involved in these series, you know exactly what we're talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You got a guy right now at your local track who's exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, that would, if I was to write it down and what it would be, either police the drivers or the drivers will be policed. And you will have a shitstorm on your hands 2 weeks or a month ago with some damn shovels, and now you got police and hammers and stuff. And now a judge is going to drop the hammer, and now the society around us is judging the sport. And now the image that we are fighting, in my opinion, of us all being a bunch of damn hillbillies after you can't park here's and this and that and Jerry Springer Twitters and all this stuff. Now you got shovel guy and police guy, and now and now we're just a bunch of we're Jerry Springer in itself. And all you people who don't understand how big of a deal this respect and reputation of dirt track racing affects it monetarily, you people ain't just y'all ain't studied enough. Then y'all don't know psychology at all. It's psychological warfare. And when you're dealing in media, you know what that's all about. You know, that's why I say, Jeff Gordon and Cole destroyed the whole damn sprint car scene. Nobody wanted an orange Toyota Supra or a black Dodge Charger until Fast and the Furious came out. Nobody wanted to be a sprint car driver in NASCAR until Jeff and Cole and everybody did their gig. My best example of that's Ken Schrader. Ken Schrader went to NASCAR as a sprint car guy. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared. Don't know how Cole and Ken ended in turn 4 on the door of the Man in Black, but that's a whole nother story. Whole nother story. This is how we ride. This is how